Why is the publishing industry still so white if every agent says they're looking for BIPOC authors? My name is Gina. I am an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. And I am fully aware of the fact that I look like this while we are talking about this, so I am going to try to be as respectful as possible, and I understand that some people do not like the term BIPOC. I acknowledge that. The publishing industry is still white because it is huge and slow. The publishing industry moves very, very slowly indeed. Now, there are definitely people who have been trying to change and diversify and push for progress within the publishing industry for a very long time. You started to see a very loud and conscientious and deliberate effort about 10 years ago or so. And this is no coincidence that this is when social media really started to take off in a very meaningful way. And so we saw the launch of We Need Diverse Books, and we saw the launch of a bunch of very diverse writing conferences, and people really speaking out and being honest about what publishing is paying them, how publishing is representing people of their community. All of these things started to become very public, very open conversations. And a lot of agents were the first ones on those front lines to say, yeah, I want to be part of this, and I want to help make this change, and I want to help it be better. I want there to be better representation across all of publishing. But if you put that call out there in, let's say, 2015 or 2016, it takes a time to find the right client, to find the person that you want to work with, to find the person that you want to build a career with. That takes time, and then you have to edit the book, and then you have to put that book out on submissions, and very few authors actually get published with their first book that goes out on submissions, so then you got to write another book and send that one out on submission, and then you got to get somebody to love the book enough that they're going to bring it to an acquisitions board, and then you got to sign a contract, and from the time that the contract is signed, optimistically, from the contract signing to the book being released, that's like 2 years sometimes. So if we are saying that an agent put a call out in 2015 and said, I really want to be involved in helping to diversify the publishing industry, this is important to me, we would have seen the first of those books start to be released in 2019, 2020. And then those books had to do well. The publishers had to put the resources behind them in order for them to sell well. And then they wanted to wait to see if they were going to sell well. Because here's the thing that we all stay mad about all the time, that publishing is a for-profit industry. And yes, even if you are in the self-publishing space, it is for-profit by and large. So they say, okay, well, that book did well and that one didn't, and we're going to figure out why that one didn't, and we're going to try to copy it and make it do what that one did. And this takes time for them to put the resources into this to help to make the change necessary to put more historically marginalized people on the front lines of the publishing industry. And the publishers themselves is still an industry that is steeped in privilege. If you look at the resumes of the people who work for publishing houses, it is still a lot of elite universities. It is still a lot of people for whom this is a family business. These are people who can afford to live in Manhattan while making laughable wages, which means that there is generational wealth supporting them to some degree. And again, you can be mad about all of those things, but that is the truth. That is the reality of this industry. And so it takes time for people to come in as an entry-level person and work their way up until they are an acquiring editor and can make meaningful change in the type of books that they are acquiring for that imprint and for that publisher. It also takes time for interns to become agents, to become senior agents, to become owners of literary agencies, so that they again can make more meaningful impact and more changes within the industry. This industry moves slowly, painfully slowly. There is nothing fast or quick or easy about publishing. The fact that we are seeing any sort of movement means that people have been working at this for a very long time. The literary agency that I work for has made this their mission. Quite literally, this is what they all are trying to do, is to help push this very specific type of progress within the publishing industry. And I am so proud of being a very behind the scenes person to help support that mission, because it matters. It's a big deal, and I will continue to be the person behind the scenes that isn't involved in any of the decisions and just pushing the numbers and doing all of the spreadsheets, because this matters.